something different today. So these are two models that I made maybe about 2 years ago. What I'm doing today is I'm giving them a wee clean and going to be doing up the light circuit. So basically replacing it. But the problem is, the way I have put these models together, this stainless plate will be tricky to remove, so not damaging it. So I also have this polished into a mirror finish, bottom and top, so top being the inside. I also have all these little fish attached to this resin base, and this was also very tricky because I was trying to mimic the fish coming up and touching the tip of the water. As you can see there, you can see sort of wee bubbles on top of the fish. So here we have a man fishing off a ledge with a fish on the end of the line, and we have the princess standing on the water. So the problem is the light, the circuit has failed. The LEDs maybe have failed. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to hopefully fix this one first, and then I'll do this one second. So they're set on, well, this one's set in the theme, and then this one's set in the theme. This is like a love heart theme. So as you can see, they're covered in dust. They are crystal clear, well, translucent, transparent even here at this point. So the light usually comes up through the model, but the problem is the wee LEDs have only lasted so long. So this is all handmade, all obviously it's printed, and then I have put a lot of work into the models to get them to this this stage. As you can see, there's white in the resin there. It wasn't that didn't come out of the printer like that. It also didn't come out of the printer looking crystal clear. That umbrella took 24 hours to print because it was printed on a slant and it's very thin. These love hearts are all filled with glitter. The light goes up through them and you can see the glitter really stand out. But at the minute, as I say, they are covered in dust. If I flip this one over the body without damaging it, it's also polished into a mirror finish. So a lot of work went into these two models, as you can see. So the hearts can be seen in the mirror plate on the inside, and also they can be seen better when the lights are turned on. So I have also, what do I see? I have made these custom switches, and this switch is basically a 3mm bar and a bit of stainless tube, which is 3mm ID, and what is it on the outside again? 5mm on the outside, so it's a mil thickness, the wall. I put that in the center of that love. So this one was based around theme. So let me see if there's anybody on here, maybe talking to nobody. So this one was based on mother and daughter, the love between the mother and the daughter. So here we have the mother, the daughter, and the wee dog, and the hearts protruding up through a well, sort of like a wishing well or whatever you want to call it. So that wasn't easy to get that all done nice and neat because each one of those stainless rods is going down into a piece of stainless tube that holds them all nice and neat. And so each one of these hearts is glued onto the end of the rods, and each one of these smaller rods, which is 1.6mm, is doubled over in a loop in a way that the hearts can be glued better to the end of the rod. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of work went into it. So this one, the base has already been pulled off. So in fact, well, it was off. It's stuck again now, but the glue that I used to do this was epoxy, so I might be in a bit of bother trying to get them apart. Not so much this one because it was took apart. But I'm going to get started now anyway. So the little LED circuits that I will be using to repair these is these little Larry torches. So I'm going to just move this seat in a bit. So I'm going to strip these now anyway and take the wee board and the LEDs out of it. So this is the best way. So here we have three AAA cell batteries. Obviously I'm not using batteries for these. I've got power supplies connected up for the models. So the power supply that I used for the models was, do you remember the really old, for anybody that's the same age as me, what age am I? 39. So when I was young, there was these phones, and they were called, what was that, Sony Ericsson. So that's the chargers off for one of those phones. There's actually two of them here. So here's the second one. So these are rated 4.5 volts, I think they are. What do we see? Yeah, 4.5 volts. So they were perfect for these models because the little Larry torches has 3 batteries in it. So obviously 3 times 1.5 gives you that voltage. So what do I see if I remember how to strip these? It's been a while. But I've took some pile of these apart. There we go. So basically when I strip this, it's scrap. All I want is the circuit. And pretty much when I install the circuit back into the models, they will be much brighter. There we go. So there we have the little light part that I will be using for this model again. So that's stuck to the resin base with epoxy glue along here, but I also need to fix that little circuit board, this LED strip, to this here before I can stick it to that. This spring's not needed. So it will take a couple of live streams because obviously I don't want to wreck these, I want to take my time. So I need to remove. So basically what I've done here is I've soldered, you see, these little connections to the little Larry torch, and I've brought the little connector plug out through the rear end of the model. So you can see there the fish hanging on the end of the rod there in this one, and the African grey parrot looking over the princess. So a lot of thought went into these. So I'm just going to build this torch here before I go any further. You never know, I could use it for something maybe in the future, but I doubt it. So these is only £10, so it's not really a waste because I'm using the light. I'll put this back on. So I'll have to strip the other one too. I'll just put that spring in there if it fits. I'll put it back together, sure, why not? Give it back the screw fix and see my torch is not working. So that is one torch stripped. So we're going to use, just say, that strip for this model. So as I say, I have to take these two models apart again and I have to clean them thoroughly. So I have to go through them in detail to remove. I'm going to give the plates, the mirror polish plates, a wee run with, why did I take that one apart again for? I'm going to give the mirror plates a run with polish. I'm not going to take them out to the polisher. I'm not going to go to that extreme. So I polished them a long time ago and they're still perfect. Apart from the dust. So I'll just put this back together and get this thread in. So these little Larry torches, Nebo, whatever, little Larry is the type of the torch, and Nebo will be the make. So, or Nebo, whatever way you pronounce it. So again, we're going to strip this one. So we need 2 torches, 1 torch for each model, and they're well put together, these torches. As you can see, the quality is high in them. So we'll put this back in the box. I'll take it back to screw fix and say, my torch is not working. I'm only joking. That'll probably go in the bin. So let me get this bit off. Really tight, I need a pair of pliers for this, I doubt. So this little diffuser, I don't use it. Okay, I don't use the diffuser at all. This one here, somebody was eating their Weetabix. I'm gonna have to get pliers. I'll get a pair of pliers. So these wee models look completely different as with like other projects. There's nothing else out there like these. So I put a wee mark in that bit of the torch, but it doesn't matter because it won't be used again. All I need is a circuit. Okay. I don't need the diffuser, but I need the reflector part to hold the strip. Okay. So there's one. So I will glue that LED strip into the reflector part of the torch. I'm going to set that there, right? And I'm going to take this one over too and set it in the same spot. And I'm going to get rid of everything else on the bench. I'm just going to take this spring off first. So that's only for the batteries. It's required for the batteries. Okay, I'm going to set that in there nice and neat. So once I get the models apart, taken apart, I'm going to glue those, but for now I'm just going to continue and try and get this model stripped, the green one, without damaging it. I should have slid them back in, shouldn't I? Okay, I'll do that the other one too. So there's a wee magnet and everything in the bottom of these torches, so it could come in handy for something, but probably not. Never be used again. I'll put the spring in to keep it anyway. What's the spring in there with the lower end? Lower end. Right, that'll do. I'll get rid of these, right? So what I need to do now, I'll put this one on too, sure. Can't get it on, I have to take that on again. So that's them two torches destroyed. Okay. Who cares? So there we go. We're going to now continue. I might look at the bottom of the red one first here. We'll see the crack, we'll see how it goes here. So I've got all the little fishies nice and clean. I cleaned them at the start of the live stream. This model needs completely rinsed down somehow because it's covered in dust everywhere, as I say. And so's this one. So let's get started here. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I'm not going to rush because I cannot afford to wreck this green one. They're both very delicate. So, for example, I've got this African grey stuck on to this hat on this man. And when I stuck that African grey, that wee model onto the hat, I made sure that minimal amount of epoxy glue was on the end of the claws. So I just basically touched it. So when I set the African grey onto the hat, you only seen you seen nothing. You just seen the claw touch the hat and that's it. So I need to be careful not to knock them off. And I also need to be careful not to knock her off because she's glued at the dress and she's also glued only, at the 2 feet, but it's done in the same manner. So there's only a dab of epoxy, just enough used. So this is completely different from all the other projects that I do on the channel, but I enjoy this type of work too, to be honest. Give me anything footery and I'll do it. So what one I'll start with? I'll start with this one, I'll start with this one. I don't know, I'm freaking out. I'm not gonna lie. Right, so I'll start with I'll set this over here and we'll get a look at the red one. And we'll see them strips. And I'm going for the red one because it's already stripped, sort of. Okay. So as I mentioned, these little models are completely unique. And there's nothing else like them. So we're going to set this one back this way. And I'm going to try and remove the base. What do we see here? Try and get this under view here. I'm going to try and remove the base without marking the resin and without marking the stainless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get a bit of masking tape and I'm going to just put it over this blunt knife, okay? So hold on. Might finish the red one in this live stream and I might start the green one after tea. Or after I get something these here. So here we go. This one needs cleaned down too. So if you look at this model, I've created it in a way that the little girl is holding the umbrella over her mother. So I've got a stainless rod up the middle of the print and I've got a little swirl on the end of it here. So if you look on the inside of the umbrella, it's not just dependent on the weak 3D print, it's got a stainless rod hid behind it. So if I take the phone round, what do we see here? If I take the phone round to the side, you can see the rod there, and you can see how I created a swirl. So when this umbrella was printed, it had hundreds of spikes attached to it. I had to sand it all and polish underneath it, and the rod. So a lot of work went into this. So I'll continue anyway here for a wee minute and hopefully this goes well. And set this phone up again. Right. I'll get started. It's hard to judge if this phone's in view, but what do we see? Maybe better here. So I'm just going to cover this blade with tape, right? And I'm going to be working with the blade, but I'm not going to be using the sharp edge, I'm going to be using the sides of the blade. Okay? As a pry bar, sort of like a wee bit of leverage. As I say, I'm focusing on this one first, this red model. But I'll move this one over because nobody will understand if they come on when I'm talking about another model. So that's the green one. This is the red one. So this base has already been taken off. There we go. So there we have the mirror polished base that I created a long time ago. So what I need to do now, right, is see if this IPA breaks down the epoxy glue that I have on it, right? I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to maybe go down a different route. So on the inside of this model, there should be no dust. There's not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it anyway. So I'm going to just show the inside of the model here because I'll see if this glue breaks down. It's not going to break down, is it? Okay, so I'm going to have to use something else here. I don't want to polish this face again, to be honest. If I scratch it, I need to polish it. Okay. So on the inside of the models here, I've got this polished into like a glass on both sides. I've got the hearts filled with white epoxy, or sorry, white enamel paint, and I've got these little switch. So see the switch in the torch? I've made these special wee sort of bars, and wee bit protrudes through the resin on the letter O to hit the switch. So this here is glued. It's going to be really hard to get off, and I need to be careful not to break the model. It would be good if the LED strip came apart and the diffuser stayed. So I have used the diffuser here too, you just see that now. Okay, so I need to take the parts out of the torch here. So we're going to have to take them out. So what do we see here? Obviously I can't put... I might have to try petrol here, and I might have to try thinners to break down the epoxy. And that goes for that too, because that's not going to break off. You know what I mean? So what do we see what happens here? We need these diffusers anyway. So the bit that covers the LEDs. So we'll take that. So I actually have another model sitting over in my project car over yonder. It's black. It has a green helicopter, and the helicopter rotor spins, and it has lights on it. Well, it will. A lot of time goes into them things here, as you can see. All my projects, a lot of time goes into them. Right, so we'll take this one too. So they're 250 lumens, these torches. And they really, really, really light up. But they don't last long. Well, if you think about it, they're not designed for continuous use. So this model could be, in the winter time now, it could be turned on. It's really, really bright too, it lights up the room. So see the colours of the model? It like goes up through and the ceiling, the red and the green. It's actually really pretty. But obviously they're not mine. No more. Not going to go on there. It's alright, I'm going to put them in the bin anyway. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some petrol here. And some fillers. Right, so I've got thinners in the milk carton. I'm going to try that first. So the APA is not going to break it down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this model back a bit. And I'm basically just going to sample with that paintbrush. Right, I'll try thinners first. I'll just let it sit on it. Did he watch the model right enough? Okay, so I don't think it's going to break down, to be honest. Might have to polish this plate again. So what I can do here is I can strip the other model anyway. And I can get the two plates prepped for part 2 of putting them back together. So it's not going to break down, so I'm going to try a bit of petrol here. If Thunders doesn't shift it, I doubt the petrol's going to shift. Piece of plastic's what I need is a scraper. Gotta put a pair of gloves on. Yeah, they're in the house, in the house. Okay, so that's working there. See the way the epoxy's lifting? But the problem is now, what's lifting it? Is it the petrol, is it the thinners, or is it the APA? There's a mixture of everything on it. So I'm using the card here, like a credit card. Breaking down well. I'll be honest, I think it's the petrol done that. I don't even really have to scratch it, to be honest. Scrape it. So these plates are cut out by hand here to match the resin base. And then they are polished up into that lovely mirror finish. Right. I could give that plate a wee polish again, but do you know something? I don't think I'm going to. Okay. So that's good there now. Well, obviously it needs to be brought back up to a nice mirror finish. It's only smeared with petrol on it there at the minute. So, do you see that there now? That petrol might break down the adhesive on the feet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a bit of polish and I'm going to give it a run and see how it looks. The polish to make you remove some of them marks too. That's the marks left by the glue I'm talking about. Okay, so new rag. Oh, we choke that stuff. So I've got the edges of this piece of stainless polished and then mirror finished too. And the back. So it looks like a cloud effect with these lovely round edges, or round corners. So I'm only polishing the back here because I don't want the petrol breaking down the adhesive on the feet. So that'll be okay for now. So I'm now going to focus on the inside of the model, okay? So there'll be fine marks running this way, but you're never going to see that through the base. That's just left by the wee polishing machine. I might take them out in the future, we'll see. So there we have that plate ready to go back onto the model, okay? But it can't go on till I repair the light. And I'll do that in a minute. So I'm just going to wrap this up. And now I'm going to focus on the model itself. So, how do I get this off without wrecking it? Let's break it off. What do I see here if I can get this under view? So I'm just going to twist it gently. It's not going to come very easy now. I could put a bit of petrol on there, but I can't risk putting petrol near the model. Or thinners. Break off. So I need to be careful with the models on the other side of the main resin base. We don't want to break those off. Oh dear. So I'm going to bring it up to our feet here and I'm just going to pull it, the light on the inside. It's well glued on. Okay, so the plan is here to use the APA. So I'm going to spray the APA in to try and break down the iodide glue. So what rag is petrol on it? This is petrol on it, but I'm going to risk it. And just go on the inside here and give it a wee clean. So when I printed this model, it was done in a way that obviously I could blend the white into the red resin. And that wasn't easy to do because I had to have white in the printer first, and then I had to put the clear resin, the red in after, the red resin. I could see that there's still glue on the bottom of this. That'll be easy to take off. So the reason I wanted it white was to have the part of the writing, the message, with red over white and then white over red around the side here. But also that white is there so that the light is hidden and contained within the bottom of the model. So if you're looking down through the model, you don't see the light because the white is not see-through. So a lot of work went onto this, as you can see. Let's put it like this, it wasn't made in one day. So I have to wait for this to break down. I'm not using petrol, I'm not using thinners. I'm just using APA. APA will do no harm to the print. So basically 99.9% alcohol. So I'm going to go down and try to pick these bits off the side too, with a bit of APA. But I need to be careful here, you know what I mean? Can't be too rough on her. It's the petals breaking down the epoxy, you know. I might have to risk it. Will I risk it? Might have to risk it. Right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sample, see with one of these little fishes that I have for the green model. I'm going to set it in the petrol, okay? And then, well, that's a different resin right enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to get something that was printed using this red resin. And I'm going to put it into the petrol, okay? So just bear with me, I have to go to the bedroom here to get whatever I'm going to get. Okay, so I'm back here. So I got a part of one of my smart gloves that I printed 3 years ago or something. So we're going to try it on the petrol here and see if it breaks down the resin. If it breaks down the resin, I will not be using it because it'll break down the model. But as I say, the petrol is removing the iodide glue. So if you can imagine, when these parts are printed, they're obviously using resin. So basically, it's like a wafer, you know, like an ice cream wafer that you eat, with the ice cream on the inside and the two wafers on the outside. So basically, that's the way this would be printed. So mainly the resin on the two outer parts is cured. It's hard to explain. If you looked at it under a microscope. So I just need to be careful that the petrol doesn't break down the barrier there between the layers. If it turns it sticky or anything like that, you know. Not doing much to it, you know. I'll let it sit. Okay, that's working out there still. Just gonna have to try. Let's see if this breaks off now. Little pebble sitting down there. Don't like it. Don't like it. Come on. Come on, break off, boy. Straw. Do you ever put some more to glue in there? Ah, it's tough. Tough. I have no option but to take my time here. I don't want to wreck the wires either. So I'm trying to desolder it, but it's really hard to get at the negative wire here. Try again. It's not that it's hard to get at, it's hard to get it under view of the camera. So I have to just put my head in the way here now. It's glued. I have glue over the top of the connections and everything. There we go. So I'm trying to save those. And I'm going to try now to cut. I might have to cut the board. Remember, I can't move the model at all here. Right. It's tough there, boys. It's going, but it's just slow. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a circuit board, break it off. Now I can maybe, there we go. So I got it. So that is the LED strip. That's not working no more. So what I need to do now is clean this glue off of the petrol. So here is the wee switch. Look at that wee thing there that I have designed and made to operate the switch on the little RI torch. So preferably I would like this up on our end to clean all this, but it's not going to happen because of the models lying on the bench there. So I just have to take the time here and remove all this glue. I think it's actually the thinners that broke down the glue on the plate. Obviously I can't put thinners near the model. So I just have to take the time and scrape the glue off with a piece of plastic, but not interfering with the models. Okay, so I'm just going to lift this to check it. Is everything okay? Yeah, right. Right. How am I going to do this? So the strongest part of the model there will be lying it back on its back. Okay, so I can't lie it on its side because the umbrella, the girl, the woman, and the dog are delicate to the base. So I just have to work it this way, whatever way I can, and removing this epoxy glue. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to try and pick it off with my fingers using the IPA. But remember, this is a 2-pack epoxy glue, so it's not going to shift very easy here. I'm also going to use petrol because we know petrol doesn't break down. Well, I don't know. It's risky. Why do I need to remove the glue on here where the light goes? Because I'm fussy. I want to put new glue, reposition the light. So I'm going to remove the little 3mm bar that's also mirror polished at the end of it to operate the light there. I'm just going to take it out of the way and I'm going to get a look at this glue. So the glue is rock hard. Can't put thinners near the model now. Just have to try it with petrol. So you can see the paws of the dog. You can see the woman and its feet and the whale, the stainless part there. Oh dear. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Don't want to put heat there, do I? I don't like this little part being full of petrol, so I'm going to flip it over a minute. Okay everyone, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off. I'm going to remove all the glue off camera here because I don't want to make a mess of it. And as I say, it's not my model no more. It's a gift I made for somebody. The two of them. So I have to be careful not to wreck them here. So I don't know how I'm going to remove the glue. It's obviously the thinners is what I need. But if I put thinners down or near the resin model, it'll break down the layers. So do I leave the glue alone? See, I can't work with it too much. I can't move this too much. Where's the red lid? Well, I'll put the red lid on the thinners to see what happens. Let me see. It's obviously going to interfere with it. So I need the epoxy glue to be seeped in the thinners. We don't want the thinners turning red here, because that means it'll be breaking down the 3D print. It's actually sticking up there quite well, you know. But you know what thinners does with plastics and stuff like that? Polycarbonate. It just destroys it. But it doesn't seem to be doing much to it. I'm not holding it in because obviously I'm not going to be holding the model under thinners. I'm just going to be dabbing the glue. So I'm going to do this for another 20 minutes here and see what happens. But as demonstrated at the start of this live stream, it's the thinners, not the petrol, and it's not the IPA, it's breaking down the epoxy. That's holding up there quite well. But the thing is, you just don't know. The petrol could be breaking the resin down, turning it brittle. So I might just have to do without removing the glue. At this point, here, 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 here. I could take a knife to it, but the knife will destroy the resin. Scratch it. So the thinner's not doing much to it here. Should I go for it? No. Because just remember, see the paint at the side and everything? That's all enamel paint. But I could go like this. I'm not going to. I was going to dab it on it. Right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try with a knife here. 2 seconds. Just touch this. Pull it. Pick it up. There. I peeled it. I peeled it off. Happy days. I'm peeling it off. So I'm just going to stick with the IPA and peel it. So I'm digging the knife under it and just pulling it off. Like so. Yeah. It works. But it's going to be slow. Sadly, I'm not going to have this finished in this live stream. I do torture myself, don't I? Right, so I'm going to go for this piece of glue down here too. So if I didn't take this off, it would be, the base would be sitting further away from where it used to be positioned. You know what I mean? So it's a slow process. I'm trying not to touch the resin too much here. So I'm trying to peel it instead of scratching it off. I'll come uphill here too. Took some part. So what did? Pull some of it off easy enough. Peel it off even. There. Good job. See, some of it's easy to off. Well, not easy, but you know, better than some of it. Need to be left-handed here now. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just... What I could do at the end up, right, is I could get the 150mm sander and, well, could I? It's alright anyway. It's, actually breaking it down, you know. See, it peeled off there, it peeled off here. It was just a wee bit trickier here at this point. So I don't want to be scratching, I haven't scratched it anyway, but I don't want to be scratching this red because it was polished into a clear finish. So let's try and peel this bit off. I'm going to just remove. So once you make an opening, you split the glue. It sort of breaks it down a wee bit, you know, you get the alcohol now. Well, if this feels rock hard, but So sort of put it into the glue and picking it off rather than scratching the base. So once you get a wee layer off and you get the alcohol out of it again, that's the only way to do it. But it's not far away there now. The only part that I really need to remove is along the bottom here and the glue where the light was held. It's not easy, but I'm nearly there. Okay, everyone. So I don't know what to do here. I need to flip her over, but I'm just gonna look what's the strongest way. Don't really want it sitting like that, you know. But I need to. No, I can't. It's too risky. So what I might have to do here is hold it up in my hand like that at the washing wheel and try and use one hand to remove this glue. It's not easy. I'm trying to get everything into view here. So we've got a glue there, just there and there, and leave it there. Yeah, there's nothing major here now. So we're just focusing here and here now. So once you get it down to the final layer, as such, you can just sort of use your nail in. But that epoxy is hard to shift now. So I'm going to try and tilt it back. And I have to bring my head up closer to get in view. So I'm trying not to scratch the red resin at all. It looks good right now so far. This is too difficult to do this with one hand. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. How do I hold this without wrecking the model? So maybe we'll peel this bit. There, it's coming. Yay! That bit came off one chunk. Look. Why did they not all do that? Thank goodness that, because that means now it's awkward holding it. So it's impossible to set this model any other way but this way, or back on the well, or on those hearts. We know they're not going to break off, but if I was to set that against the umbrella, or the dog, the tail of the dog, or the woman, or the girl, if I push the girl here more to top, well, there's a good chance she'll break off the base, and we don't want that, because I've got those attached nice and neat. I know we'll find it's covered in dust, but when I clean the model, it will be crystal clear, red and white again. So, I'm nearly there, you know. I just have a bit of glue to take off here. Now pH rolling down my hand now. There, it's come on, it's peeling. Why did they not all do that? See it peeling off there? Whammy bit left. Handy. So the IP, maybe it's because the petrol went to the bottom when I used petrol for the light here. Oh, freaking out there. I thought it started to go all musty. It's just the dust at the back. So you can see what I mean there. I have to be really careful because, well, one slip up here and I could ruin those things. Also, I need to make sure that I don't have the APA around the resin, around the glue holding the epoxy. Sorry, I need to make sure I don't have the alcohol near the feet of these things. Because it will break down the APA. Or the epoxy even, the glue. Forgot about that. What is that there sticking there? What is that on there? Candle wax. Candle wax. She must have had candles up beside it. Okay, so it's starting to look apart there now, but as I say, I need to take my time, do this right. I'm going to put her back up on her end here. So, to be honest, what model do I like better? It's very hard to decide. That one or this one. This one's nice with fish. This one's nice because of the love heart theme. The white hearts. So we're coming up on an hour and a half there nearly. So what I need to do is go and get something to eat, come back out. But I will finish off removing the glue of this one first before I start doing the next live stream. So we're all done there. So I can see where the glue is. You won't be able to see it, but I can see it. It's not to say I'm running the knife down the side of the model and scratching it. I'm picking it off gently. So that's it, everyone. I'm now ready to do the light only. Oh, you got there. You got there was tough to get off now. APA's unreal stuff, so it is. I'm just picking it. So I can freely glue the knife to the edge of the blade, and I'm just picking it, pulling it out towards me. Working. Tired now. That's it. Let me tell you about there. About there. In there now. So I'll bring it up to show you there if anybody's on. So see that bit of glue here? And basically just touching the end near the base and pulling it. Picking it off. Not wise. Not wise. So just a bit up here the white now. There, a bit there. So what I could do there, I'm not only, but I could give it a run with 1500 grit. Pick that again. Pick that again. Just so ease up close. So the 5Es are on there, so I'm just picking it rather than scratching the base. Okay. But you have to go down to a really thin layer to be able to, you have to go through the stages to get that to happen. So I think I'm complete. Yeah, there. It's just a wee bit in the white up here now. That's good there now. That. So how do I do that? Without wrecking the thing. So we'll see what I can do here. That's difficult. Might have to put her on the bench again. So I'm picking again. So you can see the glue because the glue is more yellow than the platform. The white bit, the base, the white resin. So I'm going to leave the wires where they are. Oh. There we go. I have to do this to the green model too. Right. Right, so I need to get these bits off from here now. Oh, how do I do that? How do I do that? Oh dear. Pick it off through again, right? So what I'm going to do now this time is I'm going to use this knife and I'm just going to gently touch the glue and pull it towards me. Try and peel it away. But in doing that, I'm going to like create like a vibration through the platform, and it could interfere with the models here. So I'm going to go and get some date, and then I'm going to come back out again and get started. This one will be finished in no time when I put it back together. The other one over under there, it will probably take the same amount of time again to get the base off it. We have all the fish in that model that we need to be careful. I can't exactly grab it like this because it will break the fish off. So they're really, really delicate, really, really unique models. It's coming together now. You can see it's coming back to shape with the APA cleaning the dust and the fluff. So the only thing I need to do now, right, is solder the wires back onto these new lights and attach the mirror polish plates again. So we have it polished. I need to add a wee bit of epoxy glue around the outside, but this time I'm only going to glue it in 4 places, okay? So here, here, here and here for the future. So the only glue I need to break away now is in there, right? But to do that, I have to grab the glue and peel it. Okay? Does the glue need to be removed? Not really. But it just puts everything back to the same standard, the way I had it, rather than putting new glue over the top of old glue. Yeah? So, do well here. So I'm going to go and get some dates, right? I'm going to put this petrol away before we make a mess. So that's it, everyone. Thank you to those who watched. I know it's very footery work and very time consuming, but as you expect, to get something looking like this, you have to put the effort in. So there's that was model number 1 there. You can see the fish. So usually you would see the fish being reflected up through the mirror finish, but you don't do that because it's all dust. You know what I mean? It needs cleaned. So thanks for watching, everyone, and goodbye.